last question. This is the Gen Z Diplomat podcast, so I have to ask, what advice do you have for Gen Z who will be the next generation of astronauts, astronomers, astrophysicists, and, overall explorers?
Well, yeah, learn as much as you can. That's for sure. Any chance you get, I mean, just watch YouTube. YouTube has so much, unbelievable amounts of information on it. I learn so much every day from YouTube. Now, just experimenting off of what I see on YouTube, I learn a lot more. But
Hmm.
it's a great place to start. You can learn more on YouTube than you could ever learn in a school or anywhere. Any kind of technology, anything you want to do is on there. It's just amazing. The treasure trove of information. When I was young, if I want to know something that no one around me knew, I go to the library and you look through the card catalog, nothing there. That
Hmm.
was it. You can't learn anything more. I've asked everybody. I've gone to the library. I'm out of places to look. I'd even write to NASA and places to say, hey, ask them questions. Wouldn't get any response, but there was just no access to data. But today, you have more access to data. You could never even look at a thousandth of all the data that's out there. I mean, millions. There's just ridiculous amounts of data. So learn that's the most important thing. Um and don't just specialization is good, but don't just focus on one thing. Broaden that. How does that connect with everything else?
Hmm.
Um, because you know the AI is going to get really good at specialization. It's going to be really good at it. Can do this thing really well. I think we have a better chance of this kind of the broad AI up here to say, okay, how do I integrate with this, and this technology together, and the innovation, at least for now. Um, but I would say if you want like a career to study that he's going to make a lot of money or do well, and I think AI is definitely up and coming thing, and materials research, and maybe those two combined, actually new materials, because the we have the basic rockets and um, we know how that works. So we're getting a little bit better on that, but through material science, that's what's really making the difference. I mean, look at SpaceX develops its own special stainless steel for the rockets. That can take the heat, the pressure, the cold. So a lot of this technology that's coming about today is because material science. That's really the up and coming thing right now.
So like, I guess my mind goes two places. Number one is you said learn as much as you can because we have it basically an infinite access to information. But I
Right.
would agree with you, but from my perspective, Gen Z are more oriented to the wrong kinds of information. Like we're addicted to just like superficial social media. So how would you orient Gen Z who are interested but just don't know what the right
Uh,
information is and don't like have the capacity to seek out the correct according to you information?
so one thing I started doing is even today, it's easy to go, oh, go on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, waste your time. It's not necessarily a waste of time, but if you're doing it more than half an hour a day, then yeah, it's a waste of time. Um, you should. So if you go exercise, don't just listen to music. Listen to a book.
Mm.
How hard is that? Just pick a book, and you can pick any book, and change subjects all the time. Don't just listen to one type of book. I listen to all sorts of different random topics, and when I listen to things that I'm not wasn't planning on listening to, I was like, whoa, that relates to this other thing which I didn't think about. So when you broaden your horizon, you learn so much more, and you get this great understanding of everything, history and how machines work, and how they came about, and heck, human evolution. I mean, it's all interconnected, and it's just fascinating to know that. And I think it gets addicting. The more you learn, the more you want to learn. So just getting started, I'd say listen to books. Um, I know myself, I don't really have time to sit down and read books except in rare circumstances. And if I go to bed and I start reading a book, I'll fall asleep. So, but listening to books, I always have time in the car. I have time, if I go walking, on an airplane, wherever. I'm always listening to some book. And I went through, and Elon Musk had a list of 100 books that he liked.
Sure.
And a lot of them I had actually read already, but the other ones I hadn't. So I said, well, hell, I'll just read all those. So
Mhm.
I've been going through his entire list of books, listening to them, and some of them are science fiction, some are science fact, some are history. So yeah, it's just this whole collection of stuff. And the more you know, the more the books are enjoyable because you know what they're referring to in more
Mm.
detail. It's interesting. So um, and I would say learn your history too. History isn't just something you learn in school. It's quite valuable. It teaches you people in the 1600s, 1700s weren't any different than us. They schemed and tried to build businesses and did everything that we do now. They just didn't have the technology that we have now. And it helps you relate to where we came from, where we're going, how we get there. How innovation happens. Um, and a lot of insights on what you should do with your life. So I think that would be my advice. Just read as much, or at least listen as
Sure.
much as you can.